Hello and welcome to EMS at Sea Level, from my home to yours. Today, my guest is Brad Heath, President and CEO of Virtex. Before we get started on the questions, Brad, can you give me a 2-minute introduction to Virtex for any viewers that aren't aware of your organization?
Sure, Phil. Virtex is a EMS manufacturer that focuses on medical, aerospace, and defense, and high-rel industrial. We've got 8 locations around the country and 1 in Mexico.
Okay, and you've been growing pretty rapidly over the last few years with acquisitions and investment, various different things. It's quite a substantial business now. How many people are you across all the sites?
We're about 850 people across the sites right now.
Yeah, good stuff. So let's start with the kind of elephant in the room, the whole COVID-19 thing. What's your experience been over the last month or two, and what challenges have you seen? And from here, we'll go and explore those particular challenges and how you've overcome and mitigated them.
Sure. Yeah, we started probably similar to a lot of folks, where the biggest portion of the challenge that we saw were supply chain related, when our suppliers weren't coming back from Chinese New Year. So we started to see some delay in shipments, put a strain on our materials team. They work very, very closely with our supply base that have been able to go ahead and maintain continuity of supply, maintain our shipments to our customers, maintaining on-time delivery, which is, a huge testament to the team and the process that we have. But, soon behind that, when you started to see stuff crop up in the U.S., we realized we needed to put plans in place to take care of our employees, because by taking care of employees, we're taking care of our customers. But the employees were our first concern. And so we put in, controls around how close they could be, special cleaning procedures. We implemented regular temperature testing. So it's been great from a standpoint of success on our point. We've had only 1 case in any of our facilities, and none of that has been spread to anybody else. So it's been several weeks since we've had that. And, obviously they didn't contract it on site, but through doing it, we were able to keep everybody working. We're able to keep, most of our employees are here. We've got folks that are in high-risk groups that we're, allowing them to not be here. We're loaning PTO time or whatever they need to do to keep themselves safe. We're not going to put anybody at risk.
No, I think that's really important. And speaking of not putting anybody at risk, just before we came on camera, you were telling me that you had a mask making competition at the end of the day yesterday. That's a nice way of adding a little bit of humor, a little bit of happiness to a pretty gloomy occasion, really.
We did, yeah. We're trying to maintain as much semblance of normal and that we still obviously have common break areas and lunch areas. We've spread those out across the facility. We've staggered people's breaks and lunches. We're maintaining, 6 to 8 foot social distance. We staggered some shifts. So, we think we're doing all the right stuff to keep everybody safe at this point in time. And that's got to continue, until we have a reason for it to not.
Yeah, and team's always been one of your biggest assets. They're a great team and they work together really, really well. So being able to do that is important. Have you had to add any shifts to kind of distribute the people across the workload, or have you kept the same shift pattern?
Some of our stuff off shifts, for sure. We've got some facilities are working now, part of a second shift or part of a third shift. We're working 1 or 2 shifts before. We spread people out, maybe into a different shift across some of the facilities to do that, and kind of just rearrange some work areas as well. Where you may have had somebody who was working cross from you before, and now they're across and diagonal, and maintaining minimum 6 foot, and preferably more. And masks we put that in about a week and a half ago once we established a good supply, mandatory mask usage, and that's why we did the contest today. Was to just make it a little more creative, and we had a super creative crew, so they had some really funny, neat ideas that they did, and everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you talked about the different disruptions that you had, starting with supply, but also with the workplace disruption. The kind of triple play of that is the demand disruption. So some challenges in demand for some products that are in less demand, but also a high demand for any products or solutions that are helping out in the whole COVID-19 situation. You've got medical approvals. What have you been doing specifically in the fight against COVID?
So we're seeing a couple different things. We've had some new projects pull in for some of our medical customers, particularly guys who are doing medical diagnostic. Our engineering product development team is actually working on some product developments around ways to do quicker and faster, cheaper testing.
Yeah.
We've been working on cost-reduced versions of equipment for some of our customers. So quite a bit. We've seen a lot of activity, and we're actually expanding our engineering team right now because of the number of requests. So for good or bad, there's a few people being made available to the workplace, and we've seen a big bump up in the number of qualified applicants that have been sending resumes into us. So we're excited about being able to get some more top talent. Yeah,
and that's really important. I mean, finding talent, skill shortages has always been a bit of an issue. What about the general demand? What have you seen? What have you seen overall in terms of your demand cycle? Is that feeling reasonably robust at the moment?
For us, since so much of ours is aerospace and defense, medical and rail, we've not really seen a big pushback. We've seen demand in some of our customers where they need to go do installs. They've said, hey, we can't get our customers to go do installs. So they've pushed stuff out, but we see that more as deferred demand than lost demand. Yeah. Because they still have the projects, they still need to go get them done. They just can't get access to where they need to get access right now to do it.
Yeah. So when you look at it, I mean, I look at the situation as kind of now we're in this urgent phase. Next, we've got this medium-term phase. What can we do in terms of pushing through the recovery? So that's the important stage. And then you've got the long-term stage. How do you see your position in that, and how do you see things changing? And I know that's a bit crystal ball because we're in uncharted territories right now, but how do you see things shifting?
Yeah, to look at that, the best we can do is go back and look at either previous downturns or previous issues. So, the few things we can go look at like, H1N1, issues that happen more in the rest of the world, more so than us. And we are looking to some of that in terms of the procedures we're doing and the things that we're doing around that. But then we can go look at what happened after the banking collapse to look at what do we really need to do as a company, to be ready and make sure that we can take care of the demand that's there. We saw a 35 to 40% uptick in business coming out of the banking collapse. And if we follow most of the projections, from the economists, we're going to go from, this large, anywhere from 6 to 14% drop in GDP to, a 5 to 6% increase. So that's a 25-30% swing. One of the things that taught us, in the last go round is that takes cash. So, we're sitting in a nice cash position. We're going to continue that. We're at the ability to essentially operate at current levels indefinitely and profitably. So, we're ready to take the business as it comes. And that's why we're also looking at these new product developments and that, because we can bring in the people and invest in the technology with our customers now to go ahead and be able to leverage that going forward.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right there. Cash is going to be king for a while because we need to be able to weather storms, and I guess unfortunately the whole industry isn't in as good financial shape as Virtex is right now, and we've all been through those kind of up and down stages. It's going to be challenging for some people. On a technology side, do you see there being more of a demand for digital disruption? Do you see people looking to get more visibility in their supply chain, that kind of thing?
I certainly think there's some of that. We're actually investing in a lot of technology with our software partners right now to automate and provide more of that and make it more of a collaborative situation in the supply chain. Automating pieces of that, but also doing that in such a way that it frees up our materials team to work harder on some of these new projects and new things without having to go add a bunch of additional headcount. We're going to be able to add additional work. And that's important because, we know there's going to continue to be price pressures. We know that we're not going to get a carte blanche to go raise prices just when we come out of it.
No.
So we've got to be able to continue to provide cost-effective, not necessarily the cheapest, but cost-effective,
cost-effective
piece for sure.
Yeah, and I think when we see stuff that's going on, like in Congress, with the desire to reduce dependency on certain supply chains on China, and then we see Japan invest $2 billion and taking businesses out of China, people are going to want stuff made elsewhere. They're going to want stuff made locally. Bottom line, though, Brad, they're not going to want to pay any more for it. So,
right.
Is automation the solution there? Or are we going to have to become more automated so we can remain competitive?
Yes and no. I mean, there's areas where automation works really, really well, and there's areas where it costs you as much or more to automate it. You may get repeatability, and that's a good thing, but not everything lends itself to automation.
Yeah.
We're focusing more of that on the front office and the front end piece, right now.
Yeah.
Because that's the skill set that's frankly harder to get. Maybe there will be more people available in that skill set, but if we have to take people from outside of the manufacturing industry and teach them to manufacture, that's really more teaching them to run machines, work in the production areas, and replace service sector jobs with manufacturing jobs. That's not necessarily saying that those people are going to be great program managers, materials managers, that sort of thing, much less design engineers. So
so you've got to build out that whole digital suite, haven't you? Whether that's quoting, procurement, supply chain. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Yeah. So lockdown for a whole bunch of people. You're always on planes. Your sales guys are always on planes, flying around, going to meetings, press in the flesh with your customers. How's everybody coping during lockdown? I guess you're using Zoom a lot, and you're doing lots of virtual meetings, keeping in touch with your customers and all your colleagues.
So we're using Zoom. We're actually migrating a lot of our additional stuff over to Microsoft Teams. We put in a few months ago, because of all of the defense stuff that we did, we went on to the secure government cloud.
Okay.
So, we have a lot of critical data to protect for our customers, both IP and otherwise. Having that all flow through servers offshore is not exactly
not ideal, no. Yeah.
So by next week, we'll have all of that moved off of that. And if you and I were doing this next week, we'd probably be doing this on Microsoft Teams. Rather than in Zoom. So
and we'd be doing it in the secure cloud. And every time I come over and see you in Texas, you show me a new restaurant, and we get to see all the cool parts of Austin. We don't get to do that now. So what are you doing with yourself? You're staying at home? You're binging Netflix or Stan or Apple TV? What are you enjoying?
I wish that was the case. I have been spending some time both in our Austin facility and our Plano facility. We acquired a company in Plano up in December, so I've been working with the team up there, and we've been adding a lot of this integration and that up there. So, for good or bad, I've been spending a little bit of time at hotels, not on the plane, but still in hotels. That's been a very surreal experience. Typically, there's about 8 of us.
For a whole hotel.
Each have one floor. In this last visit, I was there for 3 days. I didn't see anybody besides the front desk people, or wherever I went to pick up curbside delivery for meals. So it's been different. We're trying to go support the local restaurants and the local economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're getting hammered. I mean, we're fortunate to be called critical manufacturer, critical infrastructure because of our customers. But all those places that you and I like to go when you come to Texas, I'd like them to still be here next time you come. So we've got to make sure we keep spreading the dollars and spreading the love out with them, and whether that's DoorDash or Grubhub or
absolutely.
There's ways to go do that and make sure that we're getting money into the hands of the servers and folks who are I mean, let's face it, most of those folks are used to eating their meals at work as well.
Not
only are they not getting paid, they're not getting free
they're
meals.
Not getting fed. It's nasty. It's a tough time for a lot of those people. And you mentioned a new site in Plano. Is that manufacturing up there or design, or what have you got there?
It is. We've got about 140 people up there. We've got 4 lines.
Okay.
A lot of dedicated NPI and quick turn prototype. But
cool.
Very solid facility, about 20 years old. It was a company called Precision Technology Inc. Which is now Virtex Plano. So we're excited to have them on the team, and Excited for the customer base up there, because we've had customers asking us for more dedicated prototype and NPI capability amongst a lot of the mid-volume facilities. So that fit the bill nicely, and we were happy to bring them on last year.
Yeah, no, it's exciting to have an acquisition in Texas that close as well. So nice to be able to manage and integrate something that's a little bit more on your doorstep. And now of all times, you can jump in the car and go fix things there in a relatively modest amount of time compared to
and we're also
traveling cross country.
We're also expanding and building our engineering team up there. Okay. So our East Coast group that we had that did product development, we're replicating that group in the DFW area. So we've got a couple folks on there full time now. We've got 3 open recs that we'll have hired hopefully within the next 30 days. And so we'll have that team built out fairly well. And we'll be at about a dozen full-time design and development product engineers.
Okay, moving in the right direction for sure. So before we go, what advice would you offer peers, other CEOs in the EMS industry? Any nuggets that you've learned over the last month? It's been a steep learning curve.
Certainly some nuggets that seem simple, but we just got to go ahead and keep them focused. This is a very uncertain time for our customers. This is a very uncertain time for our employees, and it's an uncertain time for our vendors. So probably 80% of my job these days is communication. Yeah. Right? I've decided that CEO is really Chief Employee Communication Officer. So I'm talking to the general managers at all of our sites. Just seeing what's going on, and seeing where we can help. We got a good source for surgical masks in one of our sites, so it's getting them out to all of the other sites, and making sure that everybody has supplies that they need. There was a run on non-contact thermometers, so we located a bunch, made sure that we got them out to everywhere so that we can have the appropriate controls, because we're extremely serious, and that's the other piece is make sure you're putting your people first right now. Because frankly, these are the things that they're going to remember way after this is over, is how did we perform, and how did we treat them, both our customers and our employees and our vendors, during when times are tough. It's easy to treat everybody good when times are good. It's when it's not is when you really separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, no, that's huge. You're absolutely right, Brad. And I think it's really interesting what you say about collaboration and communication, because that's how we get through this as companies and as organizations, but even, as you say, as communities on a local basis. I think that's absolutely essential. Brad, thanks so much for your time and your candor. It's been a real pleasure to chat to you again, and I'm really looking forward to getting some Texas barbecue next time I come out and visit, and you can show me that Plano facility. Thanks for your time. Yeah, thanks for your time, and thank you everybody for watching EMS at Sea Level. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.